In the quiet isolation of a North Spokane pool, Scotty Smiley goes to work. Each lap connecting him with a past he never quite left behind.
I've been an active person my whole life, and it's just something that I didn't want to give up.
What looks ordinary on the surface is truly extraordinary underneath. This man whose very existence proves terror cannot win.
It's that faith that I have that has really enabled me to make it through the really tough times.
10 years ago this month was life before. April 6, 2005, Smiley and his unit patrolled in Iraq. A suicide bomber waited to kill them. Shrapnel tore through one eye. It left the other eye useless. The last vision Scotty ever saw was that bomber's face. In an instant, total darkness. Then, life after.
Every day, I think we're faced with this scenario that we live. But it's like, are you going to focus on that? Because that's not going to change. Scotty's going to be blind.
Scotty and his high school sweetheart Tiffany are now raising 3 young boys in Spokane. 10 years and another lifetime later. In between lie years of anger, depression, and uncertainty. What held them together?
For me, it was love. It was just those that surrounded me, my beautiful bride, my family, my friends, but most of all, it was God. I've been a Christian almost my entire life, and just God was always there for me.
Scotty didn't just survive. He became the first blind active duty officer. He learned to surf, got his business degree, climbed Mount Rainier, and wrote a book. Now, as he prepares to retire from the Army later this week, he asks himself, what's next?
Something happened, and I got an inkling to do an Ironman.
They laugh now, but imagine it. Jumping into this lake, into this crowd, blind. Speeding through North Idaho on 2 wheels, unable to see the curves in the road. Then running a marathon, no finish line in sight.
Without, again, a partner, there's no way I could complete an Ironman.
All right, let's go.
That's where Andy Cooper comes in. Already an Ironman, Andy swore he'd never do it again. But how could he say no to Scotty?
It's going to be entirely different this time around, but in a great way.
Let's try it out, Scotty. Let's see what you got.
He's more than a training partner. He's Scotty's brother-in-law, too. For Ironman, he'll serve as Scotty's eyes.
I forgot my sunglasses. I think I'll be okay, though.
It's cold today.
This donated tandem road bike, an in-sync machine. Every pedal, every turn, carrying 400 pounds and 1 pair of working eyes.
All right, here we go. Let's climb.
A rolling metaphor for Scotty's life.
Troubles may come your way, but it's looking past them and accomplishing goals in which you and others may not ever have thought you could have.
You know, in the back of my mind, maybe I'm scared, but I'm like, I never want to be that person that tells him he can't do something.
Because, she says, he always has. This is Scotty and Andy crossing their first triathlon finish line together. And when they did,
they were coming to the finish, and it was a straight shot. And Andy's like, all right, Scotty. Andy stepped back and let go of the rope, and it's like, Scotty, 100 meters, just go. Like, it's the coolest picture of him just, like, free.
I just felt like, you know, this was all about him and not me, and that I should give him his moment, and I stood aside and clapped, and then I had to catch him.
I'm impressed. I'm proud of you.
Knowing Andy will be there makes all of this possible, proving to Scotty that even in total darkness, he's never alone.
To have someone like that for my husband, I'm so grateful. Like, it makes me so happy. I think it's tears of joy.
With 2 months to go, there's still a lot of uncertainty. Will they tether together in the swim or rely on foot taps to steer? Will they make it through training without injury? And on race day, will they make it at all?
I have 17 hours to complete the Ironman. I don't want 17 hours in 1 second. I want under 17 hours. And I think it's just that last oomph that you really have to push forward and, you know, look into your heart.
And when he does, he'll see not the man whose actions shattered his world a decade ago. He'll feel the thousands of lives he touched on this journey so far, his wife and his God.
Evil could have tore him down and taken him down, and he went that way for a while. But anytime I see him accomplish or run across the finish line or whatever it is, it's like, no, good wins.
It feels like anything is possible the Sunday morning of Ironman. But by sundown, hundreds of these athletes will have quit, beaten down by unrelenting heat and exhaustion. Tiffany Smiley has more than most Iron wives to worry about. Entering the water, her brother-in-law Andy Cooper guiding her husband Scotty. Blinded in combat, Scotty swims these choppy waters in total darkness, relying on Andy's foot taps to steer. 1 hour and 28 minutes later, Scotty and Andy emerge.
Super proud of them. They did awesome in the swim.
But their day has just begun. Next up, the leg of the race that will test them most.
The bike is going to be the ultimate test, I think. If they can get through the heat and that cycling with 400 pounds on a tandem bike, then I think I'll feel a lot better.
This tandem is twice as heavy. The bike course 112 miles of direct sun and hills. They trained for months, but not in 102-degree heat.
It was a misery. It was a slugfest.
9 grueling hours later, hopping off the bike is sweet relief. 188 racers who started have now dropped out. 10 hours and 19 minutes in, they're nowhere near the end. 26.2 miles away on asphalt, baking in the Coeur d'Alene sun.
Keep moving, good job, good job.
Spectators do their best to cool off overheating racers, showering in them at times, encouraging them at others.
Power up this hill. It's your last one.
At the half marathon mark, Scotty and Andy appear to be losing the fight. They have less than 4 hours to make the cutoff, their pace slowing. Several times in that last 13 miles, it feels like the Ironman dream will remain just that.
And Scotty, for a while there, wasn't talking, wasn't joking, he was not, he wasn't laughing. I knew, I'm like, he's in his zone. It's not a good zone.
He's climbed mountains, learned to surf, and demolished every obstacle in his path since that bomber's blast 10 years ago. Would Ironman be the one task that's simply too much? If you said yes, you don't know Scotty. The Army Ranger creed he took another lifetime ago says surrender is not a Ranger word.
Down at the very end, there's this high hill that they climb at the turnaround point. The sun had gone down, so it was cooling. And he's like, I have 6 miles left. Let's do this.
6 miles later, 12 minutes before that cutoff.
I'm in awe. I mean, I didn't think Scotty could impress me anymore. And I think he just did, him and Andy.
It was amazing. Yeah, the best feeling in the world. I couldn't do it if it wasn't for Andy. Andy was a godsend. He was there, not just training, but the hours upon hours on weekends. The mental toughness that man has is like no other.
Most finish alone. Scotty and Andy do it with their families, friends, and an entire community behind them. This retired Army Ranger did not surrender. He can't see them, but he feels it. This crowd in tears and on their feet, making sure he hears those words one more time.
Ranger Scott Smiley, you!
I'm Melissa Lutt, KXLY 4 News.